Hey everybody, Technically Jeff here, and today I'm excited to be installing this new 4K dash cam I got from Blackbox My Car. This is the BlackVue DR900X-1CH-Plus dash cam. It's their third generation 4K dash cam. It's got loads of features I'm going to go over with you guys and why I think it's going to work really well with the Kia EV6. And I'm going to go through the entire installation. So I'm going to mount it, run the wires, and hardwire it in the fuse box inside the car. That way, if you decide to install it yourself, you know what the process is. So let's go ahead and we can get this unboxed and get started. So looking at the box here, there's the main box and the box for the CPL filter, which helps reduce glare. And I'll go ahead and open it up here and we can see what's inside. We've got the manual with all the information and instructions included. We've got the dashcam module itself. And we've got a box with everything else that's included. We have a power cable. This one plugs into a cigarette lighter style 12-volt power source. We've got another power cable that allows it to be hardwired, which I'll be using. Then we have a trim tool, extra clips, a micro SD card and USB adapter. And yeah, that's everything. Let's go ahead and remove the dash cam and take a look. It does look good. I like this design. It feels really high quality. You can see the adhesive for mounting it. It looks good. Now taking a look at the manual, you can see everything that's included in the box. Then there's a diagram which shows you where everything is located on the dash cam, what all the LEDs mean, that sort of thing. It goes over the proximity sensor, which is convenient. It lets you turn on or off audio recording or manually start recording easily. Then we have a diagram of the ports and info on the rear camera if you get the 2-channel version. I personally just got the single channel to view the front. Then it goes over the installation. It goes over running the wires. Video playback using the app or computer. How to change the settings in the dash cam. It also lists out all the specs. Some things I'll highlight here that help sell me on this one over others from different manufacturers. It records in 4K 30 frames per second, and the viewing angle is 162 degrees, which is more than most others I found. That should allow more light to fit in frame, which is important. It also has a parking mode, which works really well, that I'll go over more during the installation. It has a built-in dual-band Wi-Fi setup, Bluetooth, GPS, LTE functionality if you get their additional LTE module. You'll also notice a high operating temperature up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. That's higher than most that I've found. On hot summer days, I could definitely see the car getting hot sitting in the sun, so this is definitely a benefit. And that's it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the components. So the 12-volt cigarette lighter style option for power would actually work really well with the EV6 if you don't want the parking mode feature. You can easily just plug it in down here and route the wires around the dash to the dash cam. I wanted to test out the hard wiring and show you all how to do that, so I'll be using the hard wiring for power, but I will use this to test out the dash cam at first. You just plug it in. And it should power up when I turn the car on here. You can see the LEDs coming on. And it said no SD card, so I need to put a micro SD card in the dash cam. So I'll unplug it. Take out the micro SD card here. It comes with a 32 gigabyte one. And I'll lift up this cover on the side and insert it. It only goes in one way. If you put it in upside down, it won't push down. And then we should be good. So let's plug it in here. Now it's initializing the memory card. And now it's set up and recording. So I'll go ahead and download the BlackVue app on my phone so I can adjust settings and view recordings directly on my phone. And I'll open it up here and give it permissions. And I'll select Create Account Later. And this model supports seamless pairing, so this should be easy. I'll grant it Bluetooth access. And there it is. And it connects to my camera. It says there's a firmware update available, so I'll update that now. Now that it's updated, let's reconnect. And now it loads up, and it has some recordings in here we can view. And you can click the live view at the bottom and see a live feed, which is pretty cool. Here I'm just moving it around, checking different camera positions to see where I want to mount it. And I think that will be good. So let's take a look at the settings in the app now. Going into the firmware settings, you can adjust a lot here. You can set the date and time. The image quality, it's always in 4K, but you can adjust the quality level. Then in the recording options here, you can set various parameters. I'll turn off the rear camera recording toggle since I don't have one. For parking mode, I'm going to set it so that motion and impacts are detected. I'll set it to miles per hour. I'll set it to lock event files, so if it detects an impact or parking event, it won't overwrite it unless it's already full of event files. Then you can adjust the sensitivity levels. You can adjust the proximity sensor function. You can adjust various alerts. I'll turn all these off. Then there's battery protection. This is one of the biggest features for me with the EV6. This helps protect the 12-volt battery. You can adjust the low voltage automatic cutoff. So if voltage drops below this, it will automatically shut down. I'll set it at the highest option, 12.5 volts. There's also a cutoff timer as well, so even if it doesn't drop to that level, it will shut off after this amount of time. And I'll set it for 8 hours, which I think is plenty. If I'm out somewhere, it's rare that the car would be parked longer than that. And those are the main features. There are also Wi-Fi and cloud settings, which I won't go into for security, but it does enable additional features like the ability to have your camera connected to your home's Wi-Fi, and you can see a live feed from inside your house. Now let's get to the installation. So first, I'll slide the mount off here, and I'll go ahead and remove the plastic protective covers. And looking at the dash cam here, it looks really good. Lots of holes for airflow, which is nice. The mount works very easily. It has a button to lock it in place that you push to unlock it and remove it. You can easily adjust the angle that it's aimed, so you don't have to worry about the angle of your windshield. It should work good right there. And yeah, it looks good. Now to the wiring. Again, I'm going to hardwire it to my Kia EV6. This comes with a dash cam. You can see we have a ground and wires to connect it to the fuse box. I did buy these fuse taps from AutoZone to make it easy. And some 10 amp fuses. So let's get to it. First, I'll go ahead and place it up on the windshield so I know where I need to run the wires exactly. Right here should work well. And I'll go ahead and remove this cover from the rearview mirror. And I will run the wires through there. Behind the headliner and over to the pillar. After running the wires from the mirror over to the pillar, I realized it was going to be pretty difficult to run the wires down behind the airbag. It's much easier to run them up from the fuse box in the car. So we'll go through the side here, behind the weather stripping. And now that that's through, I pull the cover off the pillar. It just pops off pretty easily. And I'll run the wire up here behind the airbag, then tuck it into the headliner. All right, it's all routed now. I'll pop the cover back on here. I've got the wire tucked under the headliner and routed through the opening in the mirror here. There's plenty of wire, which is good. I'll tuck that away in a little bit. Right now, though, let's hardwire to the fuse panel. So on the inside of the cover, you can see all the circuits listed, which makes it easy to select a couple to tap into. We'll use the fuse taps here, which allow us to tie into those circuits directly. Then we'll hook up the ground under here. I'll go ahead and crimp the wiring to the fuse taps. Then I'll wrap them in electrical tape. And there we go. All ready to make the connections. So I'm going to tie into this fuse here first. This is for the battery plus wire that will stay powered on in parking mode. I used the door lock fuse. I put the fuses in the fuse tab. Then I'll pull the wires into the fuse panel. And push the fuse tab into place where I removed the original fuse. Now on to the ACC wire, which triggers parking mode. I'm going to remove the fuse I'm going to use, which is for the USB charger. Then put it in the fuse tab. The one you remove goes closest to the prongs in the fuse tab. Then I put in the one I bought. Then I put the fuse tab in where I just removed that fuse. Here's a closer look so you can see how they fit in there. It works well. Now for the ground wire. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this nut right here a little bit and then connect the ground wire. Now you can see the wire is connected, and I'll route the wires up out of the way here. Now looking under the dash, the wires are all secured up out of the way. So I'll put the fuse cover back on. And push the wiring up under the headliner. Now that I pushed the excess wiring under the headliner, it looks good and should fit nice and tight. So now to mount the dash cam itself. I'll put it where I planned earlier. Just need to remove the cover on the adhesive here. That is easier than it sounds. There we go. Now to put it into place, definitely don't rush this part because if you mess it up, it's not the easiest to move. The adhesive is very sticky. So I'll line it up. and push it down really good. And there we go. I didn't mess it up. Now to plug it in. So I made the wire a little short, so all I need to do is tug on it just a little bit, and now it reaches fine. So let's plug it in, and there we go. Now to install the cover back on, it just pops into place. All right, it's in there. And it looks good, nice and clean. Just the one little portion of wire coming out from behind the mirror to the dash cam. Now let's power everything on. So I'll start the car. The LEDs are coming on. And there's the audio notification. That welcome message is optional and something I will turn off in the future. Now let's turn the car off. And parking mode is now on. So I open and close the door. The car is fully off and the dash cam is running. Now turning the car on, parking mode is now off, and it's working great. And it looks really good. Next up is to install the CPL filter, which helps with glare. There is some information here about it, then the filter itself. It just clips onto the dash cam over the lens. So I unmounted the dash cam. I'll wipe off the lens and I'll clip on the CPL filter with the hole on the bottom. And it just fits over it like that. Pretty simple. Now I'll slide the dash cam back into the mount. And we're good to go. I'll let you look at it from the outside here. It looks good. Doesn't stand out a ton, but you can see it there. But yeah, I'm happy with the look. Next, we'll go ahead and take a look at some video footage. In addition to looking at it on your phone in the app, you can take out the memory card, and it comes with this micro SD card USB reader. You just put it in the memory card and plug it into your computer, and it loads up just like a normal USB drive. Here's an example with it cloudy outside. My wife was driving and this guy came out in front of her. You can see the video quality is pretty good as she speeds around him. Again, this is in 4K. The off on the bottom right corner is referring to the rear camera, since you can get this as a 2-channel setup. I only have the front, so it says off, but I just wanted to clarify it's not saying UHD is off. I do keep the microphone off too, because I don't think that's necessary and I don't want audio recorded all the time for privacy reasons. But yeah, it has a nice wide field of view. The movement is smooth. Next up, I'll show you some daytime footage here. Again, the detail is really good here. Even with the sun right in frame, it doesn't have much glare, which is nice. Remember that CPL filter helps with that. But look at the detail. Cropping in here, you can easily read license plate numbers, which is important for a dash cam. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. Here's another example I found in the recordings while parked. Apparently my daughter noticed the dash cam was installed and decided to have some fun with it. But anyway, again, I'm very happy with the way everything turned out. The dashcam quality is top-notch. The app works well. The installation wasn't too bad at all. I'm glad to have the protection for the 12-volt battery that this dashcam offers when installed with parking mode. And yeah, I'm very pleased with everything. And again, I got this from blackboxmycar.com, and I'll post a link for you guys in the description. If you're wanting to get this dashcam or a different one, I highly recommend getting it from them. They're North America's largest dashcam supplier and have a huge selection at really good prices. And they also gave me a promo code for you guys too to help save some money. If you use promo code TechJeff, you'll actually save 5%. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was longer than usual, but I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions on the dashcam or the installation, let me know and I'll be glad to help you out. Be sure to subscribe too for future videos. I have a lot coming up. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.